Creatine. You've definitely seen it on the shelves. You've probably heard your friends at the gym talking about it. I mean, it's one of the most popular supplements on the entire planet. But it's also surrounded by a ton of confusion, a lot of hype, and frankly, some pretty scary rumors.
So, what is the real story here? Is this thing a science-backed tool that can actually help you? Or is it a health risk we should all be steering clear of? That's the big question we're going to tackle. And to get to the truth, we've got to start by facing those rumors head on.
Right. Before we can even touch the science, we have to talk about the whispers, the rumors. Because let's be honest, if you've even thought about trying creatine, you've absolutely run into some claims that sound pretty alarming. Kidney damage. That's the big one, right? The one everyone worries about. But then you also hear about it causing dehydration, cramping, even hair loss. These are the myths that just won't die, and they make a lot of people, well, nervous. So let's put them under the microscope and see what's what.
Okay, it's time to switch gears. Let's move away from the what I heard from a friend of a friend and dive into what we actually know. We're putting the rumors on the shelf for a minute to look at what years, and I mean years, of scientific research have to say about it. Let's go straight for the jugular, the most serious accusation out there, that creatine is going to absolutely wreck your kidneys. This is, without a doubt, the #1 fear that comes up, and it's the one we have to address first. So where does this myth even come from? Well, it's actually a pretty simple misunderstanding. Here's how it works. Taking creatine can increase a waste product in your blood called creatinine. Now, normally, if a doctor sees high creatinine levels, it can be a red flag for kidney problems. But, and this is the key, in the context of creatine supplementation, science has shown again and again this is just a harmless byproduct. Think of it like a false alarm. For healthy people, it does not mean your kidneys are in trouble. And look, this isn't just some fringe opinion. We're talking about the International Society of Sports Nutrition, a huge authority in this space. They've literally stated that creatine is one of the most researched and safest supplements you can get, even if you use it long term. On this specific point, the science is, well, it's crystal clear. Okay, so we've talked kidneys, but what about everything else? The bloating, the cramping, that general fear that you're just asking for trouble by taking this stuff? Is there any truth to that? This really tells the whole story, doesn't it? It's a perfect contrast. On one side, you have a case report about a golfer who took way too much, didn't drink enough water, and felt dizzy and confused. But then you contrast that with a real-life example, a guy named Arjun, who took a normal dose for over 6 months, stayed hydrated, and guess what? He saw better performance and had perfectly normal kidney tests. It's not about the substance, it's about how you use it. And that brings us to the reality of the side effects. For the small number of people who do experience them, they're typically mild and totally manageable. We're talking things like a bit of bloating or an upset stomach. And you know when that usually happens? During a high-dose loading phase, which isn't necessary, or if you're just not drinking enough water. The fix is almost always simple. Adjust your dose and drink more water. Which leads us right here, the scientifically supported dose. The huge, overwhelming majority of studies show that for most healthy adults, 3 to 5 grams a day is the absolute sweet spot. It's safe and it's effective. You really don't need those massive doses you sometimes hear about. But here's where the story gets really interesting. What if creatine isn't just about muscle? Lately, the science has taken this fascinating turn, and researchers are looking beyond the biceps and into the brain. You know, it kind of makes sense when you stop and think about it. Your brain is an incredibly energy-hungry organ. And what's creatine's main job? Helping your cells recycle energy more efficiently. That's exactly why scientists are now exploring its potential to help with everything from cognitive health and mood support to metabolic function and maybe even healthy aging. So yeah, this isn't just about lifting more weight. It might just be about thinking a little bit clearer too. And that right there is the big takeaway. The whole conversation around creatine is shifting. It might not just be a supplement for athletes anymore, but a potential tool for anyone who's interested in their long-term brain health and just overall well-being. So we busted the myths, we've looked at the exciting new science. Now for the practical part. If you're thinking about it, how do you make sure you're doing it right, safely, and effectively? Well, it really all boils down to 3 simple golden rules. Honestly, it is this straightforward. Number 1, stick to that proper dose, 3 to 5 grams a day. That's all you need. 2, choose a quality product. Creatine monohydrate is the form that has been studied the most, and it's the one that's proven to work. And number 3, and this one is non-negotiable, stay hydrated. Water is absolutely crucial. So when you look at all the evidence, the real question might not be, is creatine safe anymore? The science is pretty clear on that. The new question is, how far does its benefits actually reach beyond the gym? With science now pointing towards the brain, the story of this simple little supplement, well, it feels like it's just getting started. The only question left is, what are you going to do with that knowledge?